Okay, so chapter 8, to come to know. You are now beginning to reach the stage of understanding wherein you can realize that it was not some separate you or some species without form who at this point in time chose to express love in physical form, and so began this experience of human life.
Wow.
You are now beginning to be able to understand that it was God who made this choice. Oh, it's going to upset a few people. This was the Creator making a choice. Creation's response was the universe, which is an expression of God's love, an expression of God's choice, a representation of God's intent. I say you are only now beginning to reach a stage where you can understand this. But what I really mean is that you are only now reaching a stage wherein you can know within your inner being that this is the truth. I say this because it is only now that you can come to know this truth without reverting to old ideas of not having had yourself any choice in the matter, or reverting to old ideas of blaming God for all that has ensued since this choice. I say this because only now are you beginning to be ready to hear that you and God are the same. That when I say God made a choice, I am not saying that you did not. I am saying that a choice was made within the one mind, the one heart, and that this was your choice as well as God's choice. It was one choice made in unity. It was a choice of all for life, of all for life everlasting and life ever expressing. It was a choice for creation is the expression of love. Ruben, you're next. Do you want to read today?
Wow, that's really loaded, isn't it?
Yeah, do you want to go over it or say anything or anybody?
Just
read.
feel that
one. Hey, three. The heart of God is the center of the universe, as your own heart is the center of your being. The mind of God is the source of all ideas, just as your mind is the source of your ideas. Let us dwell again for just a moment before we let this dwelling in the past go forever on what has gone wrong with God's expression of love. Creation and form had a starting point. This is the nature of everything that lives in form. It has a starting point from which it grows into its time of fullness. Creation on the scale at which God creates produced the universe, or in actually many universes. This universe grew and changed, ebbed and flowed, materialized and dematerialized in natural cycles of the creation process. The once begun was an ending, and thus was ever created anew, so too is it with you. I'm complete.
Oh,
Thanks, Ruben.
I know where we are. Kevin, thanks.
8.6, Alison. The chapter to come to know, and up to 8.6.
Thank you.
Fourth treaty.
Okay, Andrew, you're next.
Let's go a bit slower, guys. Let's slow it down. It's really loaded.
Yeah.
You can go a bit faster than that, Andrew.
Each expression of God's love, being of God, continued to express love through expression of its nature, which was God. What happened in the case of human beings was a disconnect from your own true nature, which in turn caused a disconnect in your ability to express love,
Mm-hmm.
which in turn caused a disconnect in your ability to know God because you did not know yourself.
Wow, that's amazing, eh?
Mm.
There's the original cause right there. That's caused it, hey?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Disconnect.
Yeah.
That's
Like from ourselves. It's like from our true self, you know?
Mm.
so the tiny mad idea, in other words.
Could be tiny made idea, could be just that, you know, it was not okay to show love.
Ah,
Well, maybe it was too intense because when you become more dense, then it's very harder to kind of feel the love because it vibrates differently than density.
hmm.
The expression of your true nature should never have been difficult, joyless, or fearful, but you cannot imagine what a creative undertaking the human being was. If you can imagine for a moment yourself as a being whose every thought became manifest, as perhaps you can envision from remembering your dreams, in which anything can happen without any need for you to do anything, and then becoming a form where expressing yourself depended upon what you could do with the human body, you can imagine the learning process that ensued.
It's you.
Ensued. If your reality had been like unto the reality you experience in dreams, can you not see that you would have to learn to breathe, to speak, to walk, much as a baby learns to do these things, and that these things were loving acts within a loving universe, a love-filled learning process, a learning process that was as known to you and chosen by you as it was by God, because you and God are one. And,
Thanks, Andrew. Who's next? Kim, you're next. I've got to go now, class. See everyone. See you, everyone.
Oh, sick. Eh?
yeah,
Kevin.
You might ask how, if what I'm saying is true, could God disconnect from himself? What God could not disconnect from was the true nature of the being of God, which is love. What God could not disconnect from was the true nature of creation, which is love. What God in effect had to do, what you in effect had to do in order to live in a nature inconsistent with that from which God could not disconnect, was disconnected from God. Since God was the center of your being, it was impossible to disconnect your heart and still live. What could be disconnected was your will, or in other words, your mind. Just as it is your nature to breathe oxygen, and not breathing oxygen is thus inconsistent with your nature, fearfulness is inconsistent with God. Judgment is inconsistent with God. Bondage or lack of freedom is inconsistent with God. God always knew what your mind chose to rebel against, that creation is perfect. Your mind, being of God, was constrained by the learning limits of the body and chose to rebel against the learning that was needed in order to come into the time of fullness of a being able to express itself in form, never realizing that this just delayed the learning that had to occur to release you from the limits you struggled against. The constant striving to be more and more, faster and faster, each being's yearning, passionate, excessive drive to fulfill its purpose, like a drive to explore the ocean before knowing how to swim, or the drive to explore new lands while still believing the earth to be flat. God saw and knew to be consistent with the nature of man, even while the fear and struggle that this impatience generated was inconsistent with God. Okay, that's my 2 paragraphs. Who would like to go next?
Alison, would you like to read?
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, love.
Thus, what could God then do? What does creation do with the storm arising on the horizon, growing out of atmospheric conditions perfect to generate its violence? What do you do who are parents? What do you who are parents do with a child who is too impatient, too bright, too eager to learn slowly and mature gracefully? Do you withdraw your love? Never. Do you disinherit? Rarely. What you do is realize the impossibility of imposing your will. And because of this impossibility, you realize that you must let go. Your decision was also God's decision. In following in the way of God's original intent, you rebelled against God's original design, the design that is the pattern of creation. Yet your rebellion was not with God, although you came to see it as such. Your rebellion was not allowed.
Wow.
It was mutually chosen.
Mm.
I don't understand, but okay. Just as a parent, you come to see that you cannot fight a child's nature, no matter how different it might be from your own. Just as in extreme cases, you see that you cannot stop your child from perilous behavior, save by taking away their freedom through the most extreme of measures. This is what happened between you and God. To take away your freedom in order to protect you, even from yourself, would not have been an act of love. To take away your freedom would be to take away God's own freedom, the freedom of creation. Your rebellion against the constraints of your nature in form thus became part of the pattern of creation. Because it was the created's response. It was your response, and since God is both the creator and the created, it was God's response as well. And I just so want to get my head around it, and I know that's not helpful. So,
somewhere in the manual it says, like, if you don't understand, just accept that you don't understand and just move on. Because it will just dawn on you. Like one day you'll read it and you go like, oh, I see. Sometimes we just don't. I don't either. Like sometimes I go like, okay. Because it's showing us always the new. Something we don't know yet.
And I know it's really important when we do have those moments of insight. I'm only just learning this, really.
Yeah.
When we do have those moments of insight, to somehow share it, to learn, like to hold it, to create, to be able to hold on to that understanding. But anyway, I don't as yet with that one. So there we are, 8:13.
Okay, who's next? Who hasn't read yet? Anybody would like to? Okay, I'll go on then. As you begin to live as both the created and a creator, you expand and enrich God. What other purpose would God ever have had for wanting to express the love that is himself in form, if it were not for their expansion and enrichment it would add to his being? What purpose is behind your own desire to do thus? It was only the ego that made this desire seem to be for anything other than a purpose of expansion and enrichment of your being. As we stop giving love, we deprive ourselves of the love, because love grows by being given away, right? If it is only in sharing who you are through expression of who you are that you come to know who you are, then this is the truth of God as well. God could not be the only being in all of creation who remains static and unchanging. How could this possibly be said of one whose name and identity is synonymous with creation? You like to think that God knows everything, and God surely knows everything that is. But consciousness of what is, the Christ consciousness that allows you to be in communion with God, is not a static state. While consciousness of the truth is never changing, consciousness of truth is also ever expanding.
Mm.
What was that bit about um, come to know yourself through expressing yourself, who you are?
Yeah, just you could just be yourself without any limits. Like, let's say everybody's going to be totally excited about your expression. So you're completely free to be yourself. How would that be?
Really good.
Really good. But we constructed this thing that, like, oh, maybe if I express some things, I'll be okay. But if I express some other things, I might not be okay. And those are already your limitations. So you go, oh, I better don't do this. And off you go. You freeze.
It feels difficult to be human and have feelings, especially if you have a feeling that someone is you don't like someone, that's just your feeling. And
Mm.
then you're with that person and like and practicing seeing their holiness, but
Mhm.
also wanting to scream.
Yes. Well, I tell you a quick story. I was with one person who was in the Course of Miracle Academy, which I really didn't like. And one day say, you know, brother, I have to just be honest with you. I really don't like you. And the moment I expressed it, we had such a profound holy instant
Hmm.
that it shocked me how beautiful it was. And all I did, I was just telling, I can't hold this anymore. I just have to say it. And he was like in tears of joy, not because of what I said, but that I said it.
And because it's God expressing that,
Yeah.
actually, it's
It was
when
it
we,
was like
yeah,
shockingly beautiful. I was like, wow, we were just got so connected. And almost like from that moment, he stopped bugging me. You know, I stopped having that weird feeling. And it was such a learning experience because I was choking within myself with that non-expression. Because hey, sometimes you just don't like something. Is that okay?
yes.
Is that okay to not like somebody?
Hmm.
Right?
How do you, yeah, you're brave.
Yeah, you're brave, but you know, you develop that because it just becomes too painful. It becomes too painful to hold something within you, unexpressed. And if you don't have this thing in you that it's not okay, guess what? You will express it and it will come good.
Do you have to, because that's a very different or out there kind of example of how you expressed it in words that how you felt,
Well, I
but
don't want
not.
to like pathologize anything, but you know what? You could try saying that when the person is not there, just so you loosen up this knot, because it's like you have like a knot in the throat, like, oh my God, I must not express this. Well, if you don't express it, you suppress it. It becomes a cancer in you or becomes some kind of self-attack.
Mm.
So you do it, you go some safe place and you just go, hey, brother, I really don't like you. And first you're gonna go like, oh, but eventually
Yeah.
you're gonna start laughing.
Mm.
Mm.
You start laughing because it's going like, and right that moment, like you're not hurting anyone, right? Because no one's there. It's only you healing yourself. I mean, why do people go to therapists? Because they can tell therapists how much they hate their mother, something, you know?
Yes.
It's like, that's good. Tell me more. And it's like, I can
Mhm.
hate my mother. You know, next minute they feel better. Why? Well, because they expressed.
Yes.
It's funny that not and not with a K is the same sound.
Yes,
Mm.
very
Uh,
good.
You know, I lived in
Not makes a knot.
I lived in a very controversial community, and every Monday night we'd have a meeting which was for the community to, have bonding time. And my absolute one that I hated the most beforehand was when we had to do this exercise where we'd get together with the most difficult person we could find in the room and tell them every thought we had about them.
Oh,
And the other person had to sit there and listen, and then they'd swap. And while they're doing this, like I can remember being, like what this all means that they're telling me. But at some point, there'd be an energetic shift in them,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd both feel it.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, it was all done. It was done. It was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So the beginning of those meetings was my worst, most hated time, and the end of those meetings was my favorite time
Beautiful.
in the whole community. It's the most horrible thing to be confronted with, but actually it was the most freeing thing.
Mm.
Cosmical says something really amazing. It says, when you're willing to hide nothing, you will not only be willing to enter into communion, but you will know what the truth and joy really is.
Mm.
Yeah.
It just emptied out all those
We basically just said,
meaningless
just say,
thoughts.
hey, I mean, who hasn't got a grievance in here? Yeah? Put your hand up if you don't have a grievance, right? So we all have it. So now, do you feel safer already? It's like, oh, I'm in a good company. Everybody's just like me.
mm.
I'm freer, and then love begins to flow because you're giving of yourself immediately. You see?
Mm.
Yeah.
Which is the expansion of creation, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
And when you start seeing that it brought more love than separation, you will be willing to go into those unpleasant moments and just say, hey, guys, I am stuck with something.
Yeah.
And when people just love you when you come with your honesty and transparency, and they will be grateful themselves. I really like to know if someone doesn't like me. And I also have a full permission for people not like me. Don't have to like me at all. Actually, I have to say, one day somebody said to me, I really hate you. And I'm going like, wow, I feel most loved by you. Because something through that expression came that was just so exquisite. And so we have this thing where like something is good to say and some is good. So that's the division. That's how we kick ourselves out of the paradise, because we're eating from a tree of a good and evil. Like one thing
Yeah.
is good to express and other one isn't. And that's hell.
Yeah, the whole political correctness movement.
oh.
Yes. Mayhem.
But it's like when you don't express it, it builds up into something much, much worse.
Yes, because you know
And
what?
then you end up, and then someone gets shot,
Yes, yes. Because you know what happens then? Then we blame God for it.
Yeah.
God kicked us out of the paradise.
Oh.
You know? It's not true. We kicked ourselves. It says, if you eat from this good and evil, you will suffer. But if you're in oneness, there is nothing to oppose.
We're so trained from an early age about good
Yeah,
and bad and right and wrong, and
yeah,
we're all we get good things out of that, but it kind of fucks us up a little bit.
That's big time.
And then we just have to, I don't know, get
Yeah.
through it. Well, I have to get through, face that fear, I guess.
Yes.
Mm.
All right, shall we go on?
Yes.
If anybody remembers where we stopped.
We're
Did
up
you
to
finish that?
8.15. You did, yeah.
A15.
What number?
A15.
8.15.
Who hasn't read yet?
Caroline, Annie, and Arnalee. We can start all over if you want.
The pressure to read.
Don't have to. Please don't have
Hey
to.
guys,
Really don't
I'm
have
just listening today. Thank you.
That's fine. It's never a pressure to read.
Yes.
Whoever likes to, good, and if you don't, that's also good. So maybe go back to Andrew.
I think
it was Ruben.
Oh, Ruben? Well,
Good.
that's fine.
A15. Does one not love in one verse of knowing and never know more of love? Does one grasp beauty and thereafter remain ever unstirred by it?
Mm-hmm.
Is not the very essence of consciousness itself this ability to come to know continuously? To be aware constantly of what is to do continuously come to know, and yet to never not know. You think of a state of knowing as a state of there being nothing you do not know about something. This is why you study subjects, so that you can come to this completion and enjoy this certainty and pride that at least you know all there is to know about this one thing. This was the ego answer to being a learning being, choosing something to learn that it could master. Yet, all that this was a desire to be done with learning, which is a true desire consistent with your true nature and your purpose here. To learn everything there is to know about even one subject. And to call that learning complete is an error. If you rethink this definition, you will see that even in regards to the learning of one subject, it is not a truth. The only instance in which this is the truth is in regards to learning who you are. Learning, dear brothers and sisters, does come to an end, and that end is fast approaching. Coming to know through learning will be of the past as soon as Christ consciousness is sustainable, and you begin to come to know through constant revelation of what is. True learning has had only one purpose, the purpose of returning you to the awareness of your true identity. Be done with learning now as you accept who you truly are.
Beautiful, huh?
I'm really struggling at the moment with the whole sustainable thing, because I'm recognizing the amount of judgment I carry. And it's there, and I suppose I'm unwilling to. There's a part of me that's unwilling to let it go.
Then just hold on to it, honey. Just keep holding on to it.
Okay. Well, I might as well, seeing I am.
That's what I mean. You know, actually, when you allow yourself to hold on to it, you begin to recognize it even better.
It's funny, yeah, because I was judging the judgment.
That's it. That's it. Mm-hmm. So just be yourself, be who you are. You know, like right now, I'm in a full resistance. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes. And then a
I like that. I like that exercise that you show us called the person that told you, or you told the person, I don't like you. And healing comes. And we can apply that to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I am in a situation, I don't like this situation. And I open up.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a matter of honesty, isn't it?
Yes.
It doesn't matter if there's someone there to talk to.
Beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, it's something. When I open up to the situation starts speaking to me, start talking to me. And I'm like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So that wall of separation is gone. And now that situation and I start talking. It can be illness. It can be my father, my daughter. It can be a problem that I have with the government. But the moment I start talking to, I hate you. Okay, let's talk about it. Healing star.
I said this before, there's a really good practice because, you know, we are so taught not to hate. Yeah. Now we're going to go to real nitty gritty. But you do hate some things, right? Anybody here hate something?
Yeah.
Well, we're in a good company again, right? So just go and name everything you hate.
Pain.
Big, small. Yeah. And it just gets given out. That's the expression. You express it, I guarantee you will come to an end because you can only hate that many things, so many things, you know? And it comes an end. And from that same place comes the most beautiful love. Yeah. Because whatever we piled up has to be unpiled. Yeah. So you come into this unconditional love, like you feel we're free to express all there is. Yeah. Beautiful, darling. Yeah. Because the mind will finally cease to think these insane thoughts. You know, you have to be powering this in order to have these thoughts anyway. When we stop powering this and start powering the heart, we change the position where it's just like, just let's do this. Shall we have some fun? Just go from here and just drop yourself down here, let's say. You know how you in here in your mind, right? Thinking, listening, right? So let's just go down a bit. Yeah. And just pause in your throat chakra or this area here. Just pause there. And just notice that you're already out of your head.
Yeah, it's great.
Yes. Beautiful. Yes. You're already out of your head. And what did you do? Almost nothing. You left your head behind. You're not powering the part of you that is the seat of power on earth, really. Everyone's in their head. You just come down your throat and stay there. Just park in and relax a little bit from all the insane thinking. That's your true expression center. And then slowly begin to go a little bit lower, where you get like in more like a chesty area. That's your emotional center, really. That's not your real feelings there yet. It's just the emotional part. Just park in there for a moment before you drop into your heart. And then notice what's there, like hello, you know, no thoughts there. Beautiful. And then just go tiny little bit lower, and you are totally in your heart center. And so you can discover something brand new, never seen there before. So you have to be receptive, present for it. You're with it. Yeah, how's that?
Yeah.
Yes. See, we just stop powering this crazy brain because we think that's the center of the universe. It's not. Third eye, where God abides, it's all bullshit. And just stay in the heart. And then begin to give the heart. So like, to everyone, I offer my heart. Hey, Ruben, I offer you my heart, brother. Yeah, exactly. Right? And what happened to me by giving it to you? I lit up. My heart expressed, opened. It was just a willingness to go, okay, let me share with myself, you know?
And giving those other emotions as well.
Yes.
Feel anger, and I feel like yeah,
Say,
giving
hey,
that.
Cole, I offer you my anger.
Cole, I offer you my anger.
Oh, thanks, brother. That's the best present I got in a long time. You see, you see, you loved for whatever there is. Anger is the most beautiful thing, guys, when it's not attacked horribly. Like in this world, we all attack anger. Yeah, how's that giving it?
Yeah,
Yeah, he goes, yeah.
I feel so like there was a lot bottled up, and so the bottle has been undone. The last from the last week.
And give even more anger. Just give like, hey, Cole, you want all of it?
I I don't feel the ang I'm not sure if I feel the anger towards you, but do I just give the anger with my
Yes,
towards
because
anyone?
yeah, you just give it basically. Yes, you see a smile comes on your face. Isn't that amazing? You feel that, yeah. Hmm. And look, no one got hurt, no one got attacked, no one got anything. All we're getting is more and more smiles here. Even
Yeah.
Ari joined us saying, hi guys, I like you. I've got a lot of anger probably or something that I want to give, or more love, or more anything, you know? It's beautiful.
Yeah, but we wait until it's
We don't do anything with it. We store it, we lock it away, and we
yeah.
hide it. And we go,
But
hi, how
then
are you?
it comes out as an attack, doesn't it, on someone? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love you, Alison, darling,
Uh,
sweetheart.
Mm.
Oh, darling, you're so beautiful. Every time you show up, my heart opens. Every Saturday you come, I'm so glad you're here, darling. Yes. You're such a precious being. Yeah. Sweetheart. Yeah. And we give grief, we give sadness, we give tears, we give what's there. It's beautiful. I feel so good.
Wow.
None of this, like, you should be over it by now. Haven't you done the course for long enough? Yeah. It's like, come on, fuck yourself.
Oh, how do you know that one, Cole?
Hi, Annalie.
Wow.
Lovely to see you.
Yes.
Wow. That's a good exercise. I really feel it.
Yes.
Because it's without thinking.
Yes.
These words coming from the heart to the heart. What you say to Alison, it really felt so good because it's from the heart to the heart. It's not thinking. We're not thinking at all. The anger that came from Andrew, it was from the heart to the heart. Without thinking, we just let it go.
Yes.
Wow.
Bingo. And, if you want to go deeper and, be very careful, you can go below the heart. There is more to us below there. We just don't know what these things are, but we have this exquisiteness all the way. So when you go past the heart, you start going more into the real feeling realm, and then you notice what feelings are there, and you just give them space to be. You give them space to be themselves. Like it's like a discovery. And if they dark and scary, you just kiss them. It's like, Snooky, come here. Yeah. So you exactly. You welcome the darkness. And you will see that darkness is the most exquisite thing.
I saw a little YouTube yesterday. It was of little kids who suddenly became aware of their shadow and they were terrified. Terrified. And the parents going, "Oh, it's all right, it's all right. It's only your shadow." I got, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like it was, they were just so terrified. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, let's try that one, which is the hardest. So can you allow yourself to feel some love?
Yes.
Yes. And feel it more. Allow yourself to feel it more. And even more. And then what comes next? You give it to somebody. It says, to everyone I offer love. Look at Kim's already choking. And yeah. Because you don't give it, you choke on it. You lose that which sustains you. The brain does not sustain you. It's just brain is on constant effort. Park ourselves low. This is the center. In how he talks about the center of the being. He says it somewhere in here. Like your heart is where God abides. Where we are, we're in the head. So we feel separate. As simple as. Mm-hmm. Dun, dun, dun. Beautiful. Oh, yeah. What's the sound? What's the sound of your moment right now? See? Yeah, exactly. It's way more expressive than any words can ever put together. The sound of your desperation, sound of your love, sound of your frustration, whatever it is, So much easier. Mm. Yeah. Andrew, what's your sound right now? Yeah, beautiful. There you have it. Look at that. You said more than in years, you know?
Wow.
Yeah. Mm. Nice. Yeah.
And I notice that when I connect in the heart, whether it's connecting with anger or anything, I start yawning, like the body just responds straight away. There's water coming out of my eyes. I'm yawning.
Beautiful.
It's just so good.
You feel so good. Yeah. And then you just follow that. Follow it. Just let it do its thing. Yeah. It also means you are getting more into your like subconscious self, the part of us that we usually not. Because the earth spell that took, the spell that is on us, it's so deep. Yeah, beautiful. Just keep going. Yeah. It's excellent. Mm.
My brain rests. It
Yeah.
rests of all that. Wow.
Yes.
Yes. I was feeling a lot of fogginess this past month. Fog in my brain, my thinking. But I was putting all my attention there. And now that I start to experience, like putting my attention in my heart, just come down from the head to the heart.
Yes.
And let the heart lead the way.
Bingo.
And it is without thinking. It is just
that simple.
Yeah.
I'm going to read you something amazing. This is from a lesson 47 of A Course of Miracles, but I'm going to read this to you because you probably never seen this before. Let go of all trivial things that churn and babble on the surface of your mind and reach down and below to the kingdom of heaven. Hello? Where? Down
below.
And how many people think God is up there above, right? It's
And hell's down there.
It's all the way down there. And when you keep going through these little layers of darkness and terror and pain and suffering and everything, like there is the kingdom. But the temptation to stop at the shit, it pauses you. You don't even get to the gate.
Yeah, it's like the shadow, isn't it? Down to the shadow.
Absolutely. Isn't it?
And the funny thing is, they told us that down below was hell.
Exactly. In truth, it's all upside down, That's hell because you live where? In hell. This is nonsense.
It's insane.
Yeah, exactly. And then we look outside.
What do you find?
Jesus said, like, my kingdom is not of this world, guys. Yeah, let's nail him. Because,
Where do you find that call in Course of Miracles?
Lesson 47, towards the end.
Thank you.
It's
the title of it?
It's in the later phase of the practice period. Try to reach down into your mind to a place of real safety. See, there's also this massive misunderstanding that mind is this thing that's kind of like up here somewhere. If I ask people, point to your mind, everybody points here. But your mind is part of you that feels and thinks. It feels and thinks. So it has to be united. That's what the split is. We've gone away from the feeling self, and we ended up giving all priority to the head.
Yeah.
Watch this. You will recognize that you have reached it if you feel what? If you feel a deep peace, however briefly. So even though you express that rage, you smile, you went into a peace with that. You see? That's forgiveness, right? Let go all the trivial things that churn and babble on the surface of your mind and reach down and below to the kingdom of heaven. There is a place in you where there is perfect peace. There is a place in you where nothing is impossible. There is a place in you where the strength of God abides. Da, da, da.
It's even in the Rocky Horror Show.
It's
There is a place, there is a light. There's a light shining in the Frankenstein place.
Yes, beautiful. Thanks.
What's the title of that lesson, Cole?
Title of the lesson is God is the strength in which I trust.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Andrew, I'm writing this on my hand.
Yeah. Your one. 47, was it? Was it less
I
than
won't wash my hand for months.
47.
47?
Yes.
It's towards the end.
Thank you so much for it. I was
Guys, beautiful. I don't think we should go even any further because I think that's just tops it. You know, it's action, it's the experience, it's not what you know.
Thank you.
Don't know.
Oh, hello, Kevin.
Okay.
Mute, Kevin.
You're muted.
So where did we finish? What are we up to now? Chapter.
Just the end of the chapter.
We're at the end of the whole story now.
Yeah.
Resurrected. You just caught the last glimpses of us. Beautiful, guys.
Wow.
And then we're going next week. We're going to beyond learning. Learning is not meant to last. It's a good one, eh? Yeah.
Oh, just briefly, do you know what happened to Anya? Because I saw something.
Anya passed away.
And was she ill?
I actually don't know any details.
No, okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
Maybe next week we can explore death.
Well, it's a funny one, that one.
I know. It's coming up a lot lately in the field for me. People seem to be passing away, the body's passing away. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a relief. I've been once doing this Sedona method, and then they say, could you allow yourself to feel? Can you allow yourself to feel dead? Just say yes.
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 There's your inspiration right there.
Isn't that life on Earth anyway?
Yes.
We're walking zombies.
Yes.
striving and trying hard and looking
Yeah.
for something that it's hard to reach, and jump into all sorts of Buddhisms and Christianities and I don't know what, just to get even more confused.
Andrew, you look the most peaceful I've ever seen you. You
Oh,
look amazing.
it's cute. You know each other?
Yeah.
One-time friends.
Sweet.
Yeah. We actually met many years ago, and then we kept crossing paths, and we crossed paths through Kate's group again.
Oh, yeah.
And then we bumped into each other in Thailand, and discovered that Andrew just lived up the road from me in Turak. It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here on the Zoom.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. More than nice.
Guys.
It's nice to have a laugh. Like,
Yeah.
and it's lovely, Cole and everyone, to make that journey and it's not even a journey really, but from the head to the heart, and experience that together.
Mm-hmm.
To
It's
get
really
out
just
of
a
the head
movement.
stuff, you know?
And how simple, right? Like the truth is simple. It's not complexities, it's not studies, it's not this. Like you got to actually be about the Father's business. Like get out of here, come over here, and then give it. Like feel the heart, give the heart. Feel the heart, give the heart. To everyone out from my heart. Even those who don't want it, here. You cannot want it, that's fine with me too. But you give it, and that's how you sustain it. That was one's question. How do you sustain it? You're only sustaining by the act of giving it away. The more you give it, actually, such an amazing example is the sun. And also, we're using the word Son of God, right? Different spelling, but same sound. What does sun do?
Gives.
Shines.
Shines on everything.
Shines and gives, and by that is increasing. It's increasing by giving itself, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. Son of God is the same thing. You increasing by giving the love you are. If you don't give it, you choke on it.
It's getting hotter and hotter.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder. Yeah, that's what happens. It's just like, oh, shit. We're like, ooh. Let's do this for another moment. Like, feel the love, just feel it. Just like whatever. Feel it. Even if it's just a tiny little glimpse, just feel it, and then say to everyone, just lesson one away. To everyone, I offer love on steroids.
Wow. Thank you. Feel it. Because, I mean, the heart doesn't think, it just feels.
Yes.
Just feel.
That's it.
It's amazing.
And allow it more. And you allowing it more just simply by stepping back and giving it space to be itself.
Yeah. Thank you.
You just simply step back and you just keep giving it. You keep giving it. You keep giving it. And the more you give it, the more you have it. The more you have it, the more you give it, the more you give it, have it. That's infinite. That is infinity. Infinity. So give more. And make sure you feel it all the way down your feet. Feel the love in your little toe. Feel love in your ankles. Feel love in your knees, in your bone marrow, in your nervous system, in your fascia, in everything. Just feel the love of God within me now. Yeah, feel it. Feel it more. And then to everyone, all I ever give forever is this love. And give it more. Give it to people you like. You can give it to people you don't like. If it in your mind, give it to everyone, Your favorite
You know
politician.
what? I showed you this before.
Yeah.
But now I can feel it here. You see, this is the cross.
Yeah.
And I'm no longer here. I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah, right here. And
You know
it's
how I say the
expanding.
bottom part is longer. The bottom part is longer. So there's a
Yes,
long way to go from the heart.
yes,
You actually realize that feelings are even below you.
yes.
And when you really connect to those feelings below you will connect to the magnetic of the earth. And through that, whoever is connected to that, you will be one with them. It's not in the above, it's the below. It's crazy. Beautiful, darlings.
Thank you.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
See you next week.
See you
Bye-bye.
next Saturday. Ciao, ciao.
Love you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Ciao.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bless
Bye.
you. Ciao. Yeah. Actually, I'm the boss who's gonna finish the meeting for all. Bye, Annie. You still there, darling?
I am. Thank you. I
Thank
was
you.
packing. I'm moving. But I was listening. It was really great. Thank you.
Love yous, guys. See you soon. Mwah.
Yeah. Bye.
Ciao.